Are you used to playing best ball, scramble, or stroke play with your foursome? Why not switch it up? And maybe you're already looking to, but need the perfect game. We've got you covered because today we're gonna explain one of the most exhilarating betting games in golf. You guessed it, we're talking about Wolf. Blind lone wolf, choosing your partner, betting. The game is quite complex, but with a little bit of help, we can turn some minor confusion into endless hours of competitive golf. That being said, welcome back to the Golf Vault, and let's dive into Wolf. In order to help you understand Wolf, we're going to give you a summary of the basics, because from there, we'll dive into the complexities that make this game so unique. So, Wolf, where do we start? Naturally, let's start on the tee box. In order for Wolf to begin, you need to have a playing order. You can determine this by flipping a tee or in any way you see fit. One thing we forgot to mention is that Wolf is played with 4 or more people. So if there's any twosomes out there, go and find yourself some partners.
Ollie, get dressed. You're playing golf today.
No, I'm not, Grandpa. I'm playing tennis.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
Once you have your playing order, such as player A, B, C, and D, you are ready to begin. Remember, the playing order will not change throughout the entire round off of the tee box. No matter who has honors, the teeing order is always the same. If player A tees off first on the first hole, player B will then tee off first on the second hole, but the order remains the same, and this pattern continues with each player teeing off first when it's their respective turn. Remember this, whoever tees off first is the Wolf. A player A tees off first on hole 1, they are the Wolf on hole 1. Player B then tees off first on hole 2, and player B would then be the Wolf for hole 2. As the Wolf, the player is trying to earn points or money from the other players. Let's talk about how the game is played after the tee box so you can grasp how to earn points and play this amazing game. As the Wolf, you have the advantage of picking your partner, and this is crucial for winning points. You start by hitting your tee shot normally, like any other golf game. Next, you get to watch everyone tee off, and you can choose a partner if you would like. Keep in mind, if you hit a tee shot and are confident you can beat everyone in best ball format, you have the option to declare lone wolf, basically playing by yourself against everyone else. But you have to do so before anyone else hits. If you succeed, you earn double the points, which is why lone wolf can be very effective. If you do not decide to go lone wolf, however, you can choose a partner based on their tee shots, and you and whoever you pick are now on a team in best ball format against the other 2 players. All of Wolf is played in best ball format if you haven't picked that up yet, which just means everyone plays their own ball, but you take the best score from each team. Let's use an example to help explain picking your partner. I'm player A and the Wolf for this hole. I hit a tee shot, but it's not great, so I want to go lone wolf. Player B hits a tee shot and it's okay, but it's not great, so I decide not to make player B my partner. Here is a very important rule. Once player C hits, I can no longer pick player B as my partner. Only player C can now be picked, or I can wait to see player D's shot. I decide not to pick player B, and now I have no opportunity to pick him anymore because player C has hit. Luckily, player C's hits a good drive, and I decide to make him my partner. Regardless of player D's tee shot, I cannot pick him because I picked player C. Now, player A and player C are against player B and D in best ball format for the hole, with the winner taking the points. The points are usually a dollar figure, which we'll cover later. Let's recap here because this was a long explanation. The Wolf is the first person to tee off on each hole based on the predetermined order. The Wolf can choose his own tee shot first and go lone wolf, or wait to see the other player's tee shots and pick a partner. Once a player has teed off, the Wolf has to decide to pick or not to pick them before the next player hits. If the Wolf picks a partner, or by the end, or decides he's picking no one and going alone, the players play the hole in best ball format with the winner or winners taking the points or bet on the hole. If you tie the hole, it can be a wash or a carryover, which we'll discuss shortly. Now let's look at some more complex aspects of the game. Blind Lone Wolf is like Lone Wolf, but unlike Lone Wolf, where points are doubled, Blind Lone Wolf triples the points. The only difference is Blind Lone Wolf must be called before the wolf tees off. So if player A is the wolf and is confident they can win the hole, they can call Blind Lone Wolf before their tee shot is to triple the points so they can earn. But now, regardless of their tee shot, they are playing alone against everyone else. Birdie points and eagle points. It's a part of wolf that is up to you. If you want to play with this variation, it doubles all points if a birdie is made or triples all points if an eagle is made. It's really up to you how to play wolf, so you can decide whether it's including birdies double and eagles triple, or make a variation of your own. Carryover and washes. What are they? Let's say the wolf and their partner get a par on the hole, but the other team also gets a par on the hole. Depending on how you want to play, this could be considered a wash, where the points are eliminated and no one gets any, or the points could carry over and be added to the pot for the next hole, so whoever wins the next hole gets the points for that hole, plus the points from the previous hole, which was a carryover. Again, this is up to you, and people have many variations of wolf, but the most common scenario here is to wash the points and move on, so the game doesn't get very confusing. Because let's be honest, who wants to carry over the points from a couple of holes if you're tying, and someone might win based on one hole, and even worse, I know I wouldn't want to do the math. Either way, Wolf's a game of experimenting with the rules and seeing which variation gives you and your partners a fair and competitive game, so experiment with a couple of rounds and keep these variations in mind. Now, we've explained the rules, but let's go down to what you all want to know. How do we score Wolf? How do we bet on it? And how do the points work? To begin the round, you and your partners have to decide on a base amount for each hole. This is a dollar amount, and it can be played with points as well, depending if you're betting or not betting. For our example, let's assume we're betting. Points would follow the same format though, so if you're not a gambler, don't be discouraged. Me and my partners decide the base bet for each hole is $1. This means on every hole, each player will bet $1. On the first hole, if the wolf and their partner win the hole, they win $1 each. One from the other players who lost the hole. So if player A and B won hole 1, they would be up $1 each, and players C and D would be down $1. Imagine on hole 2, player B is now the wolf and goes lone wolf. Like we said, lone wolf doubles points. So if player B wins the hole, they just won $6. 2 from each player because points were doubled and the base bet was $1. So now player B goes up $6, every other player goes down $2. Now if it were reversed and player B lost the hole, they went lone wolf on, it would go down $6 and every other player would go up $2 because points were doubled, and player B has to pay each dollar on the other team $2. Now you can see how risky it is to go lone wolf, and you might end up paying a lot. The same process accounts for blind lone wolf, except the points are tripled. Birdies and eagles also follow the same format if you play with their multipliers, for example. Player A and B win the hole by making a birdie. Players C and D now owe them $2 because the birdie doubled the bet. So player A and B are up $2 each, and players C and D are down $2 each. The same thing goes for eagles, but the bet would be tripled. That's it. That's all there is to scoring. I know it may seem confusing because it is, but with a little practice and refreshing your memory on the course, once you learn Wolf, you'll never stop playing. Here's another short recap of the points just to make sure you've got the hang of it. Decide on a base amount for each hole before the round. Whoever wins the hole gets the base bet from the other players. If you make a birdie or eagle, the bet will double or triple respectively. If you go lone wolf, the points are doubled. If you go blind lone wolf, the points are tripled. Remember, if you're on a team by yourself, aka lone wolf or blind lone wolf, you have to pay each player the base amount plus the multiplier. So if the base bet is $1, you lose blind lone wolf. You now owe every player $3, and you will lose a total of $9. Wolf can be a risky game, so play cautiously, map out a strategy, and have some fun. Now you know Wolf, one of golf's most advanced and exciting golf betting games. We know it seems difficult, but trust us, learning it is worth it. Feel free to rewatch sections of our video to further understand each component, and be sure to like the video if you learned something. Don't be afraid to comment if you have any questions. We would love to answer and help you out. Thank you for watching the Golf Vault, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing golf content. Make sure to check out our other videos for golf tips, tricks, and betting games, and see you next time.